On your screen is an article that was published in the Journal of International Journal of Emergency Mental Health and Human Resilience. And the title of the article dealt with suicide and marriage rates in Jamaica. Of course, the authors were using time series data from 1970 to 2013 that gives you an idea the extent of the issue that the authors were dealing with. And my rationale for wanting to deal with that today is simple. I realize a number of the men are going to prison, and the women are now in a stage where they are liberal and free and don't need any man. And a number of the men are also killing children and old persons. And that indicates to me that something is amiss. Something is actually going on with our men, and that we need to look at what is it that the society, the culture, and the economics and the political environment is contributing to the degradation of men, particularly self-harm. So I want to deal with males are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than females in Jamaica. 5 times more likely. And that is actually saying to you that whatever is internally happening to our men, it is such that we need to address it. And it needs to be addressed. Not 50 years ago, not to come, but no. A number of our ladies who are growing the boys, the future men, whatever approach that the women are using, something is wrong with the approach. Many of the fathers are no longer in the lives of the boys. And when the women are saying that we don't need a man or we don't need a man, is it they're saying that you're going to destroy your sons? Is it you want to do to destroy your sons? Because I don't know, but the numbers are in to say the boys, the men are killing themselves at an alarming rate. And many of them are grown by their mothers only. So I want to go to this article and look at my issue that I want to deal with. No. The article that you will see was actually written by Paul Andrew Bourne, Angela Hudson Davis, Charlene Shaw Price, Ikalfani Solon, and Cheryl Nelson. Of course, it dealt with some issues. The persons are from various places around the world. All right, so we want to deal with what is inside the article because these things are so important. We have to deal with them. We can't deny them anymore. So I want to look at some numbers. We are saying in the 1970s, so we're talking about 1970 to 1979, right? The suicide rate was 0.5 per 100,000. 1980, it actually rose to 0.5. The 1990s, it rose to 1.6. And in 2000, it rose to 2.0. Now, what we need to understand clearly means that the rate of self destruction, self killing, has been increasing substantially toward individuals that I want to deal with today. Let's take some figures for 2024. Figures for Jamaica. In 2024, there were 384 suicides committed by males compared to 64 for females, which means that males were 6 times more likely to commit suicide than females. What culture is there in Jamaica that is seeing this happening? What is the cultural dynamics? I remember the World Health Organization, WHO, said that the rate at which people actually attempt suicide is about 10 times more likely than the actual committed cases. So if that's the case, we're actually saying that our men are really in trouble. If that's the case, we're talking about, let's do some simple multiplications. Let's say that what if they say is actually true and some simple multiplication. Men are 60 times more likely to attempt suicide than females. Come on. That society indicates to you a tumultuous situation which is actually occurring. What is it that the men are not properly socialized to deal with? Are the women really helping the men? Are they growing them properly? The numbers are in. Let's go further though, because I want you to sort of understand what is really happening. In 2001, males were 5 times more likely, 2001, to commit suicide than females. From 2001 to 2025, the rate is averaging 5 times more for men than women. When we look at the global economic climate that has actually happened in the world, we know that 2020 was the COVID-19 pandemic simultaneous with a global economic downturn. And in that period, men were 6 times more likely than women to commit suicide. Men are not dealing with their situation. And what we found out is that every time when there is an economic recession in the world, the suicide rate increased substantially for men than women. I want to ask a question. Is there a need for a man in a woman's life? Is there a need for a man in children's life? Is there a need for a man in the boy's life? Women don't want men not for anything any much anymore. They don't see the value of a man, and they are saying they can grow their sons on their own. So are we saying that whatever the women are doing in the society is destroying the very thing that they are trying to create? Remember, just look at issues. About 50% of the children are grown by mothers only. Let's look at the rate of suicide. Clearly, the women are not managing to grow the boys properly. Clearly, the men are mal socialized. And something needs to happen to restore the family unity where the man is in the home, helping to guide the boy, helping to socialize this boy. What we're also seeing is a number of women no longer want the man in the home. So the women are growing their boys like girls. They are twerking in front of their boy children. They are having other men coming to the house and doing things in front of their boy children. They are doing just about everything. And all of this is playing on the psychology and the cognitive domain of the males. There's no doubt as to what is going on, that all this liberal thing that is actually happening in our world and is making our women want to be on social media, showing breast, showing rump, and being single and growing their boys. You're growing your boys at your detriment. But we're also understanding as well, most of the cases in terms of homicide is occurring among males. Males 15 to about 30. The very boys that the women are growing. What is going to happen in another few years? Can you imagine if we actually face another economic downturn in Jamaica again? With any natural disaster? With what is actually going on with our women not wanting men in their lives and not wanting men in their homes? Think about the crime rate which is actually going to go up. Think about the level of killing that is going to actually be unfolding. And most of these are going to be done by men. About 90% of the crime are committed by men and done to men. But 10% of the cases are done to women. What are we saying? The current situation is actually saying that our men are not prepared psychologically to deal with the real world. Let me repeat that. Our men are not psychologically prepared to deal with the real world. They are softer, they are more vulnerable economically, they are more vulnerable socially, and society is not culturing men as years gone by. The society is maltreating men, mal socializing men. There's a counterculture in terms of what the men is supposed to be doing. And there's a farce in terms of the women do not need the man in the home to socialize the boys. Women, you are doing a bad job. Women, you are doing a bad job of socializing your boys. What you are doing, you are grooming your boys to kill you and other women in the future. You are producing boys that are 6 times more likely to commit suicide than the girls. Is that the society that you want to live in? Is that what you call liberalism and feminism? Is that what you're referring to as I do not need a man? Where your boy child is going on through so much turmoil psychologically that he's 6 times more likely to kill himself, or is 60 times more likely to contemplate suicide than your female children? Is this society that you are creating? My channel may not be one that is entertaining, but I want to provide with information for you to look at what we are doing and ask yourself the question, should I continue on the road of entertainment? While the information is there that something is wrong. We are doing something wrong, ladies and gentlemen. The women are doing something even more wrong in socializing the boys. And the fathers, we need to get back to helping to groom our children, particularly your sons, because they're not dealing with the current situation. They are not dealing with the challenges of life. They need you. There's a turmoil that needs the father in the lives of the boys. There's a turmoil going on in the psychology of the men, in the cognitive aspect of our men. What are we going to do to solve this? There's a need to rekindle and to reframe. Let me actually say, to rekindle the family unit and refrain from having the men outside of the homes, particularly homes with boys. You've got to find a solution. And I'm telling you what the solution is. The solution is not liberalism. The solution is not feminism. The solution is not that we don't need a man. The solution is the family needs to get back together. The man needs to be in the home, and the woman needs to be the nurturer, and the man needs to be there as the guide and the provider and the protector. We are seeing a breakdown of the family home, a breakdown of the family structure. And because there's that breakdown of the family structure, the males are not there to grow the males are less able to deal with the challenges of life because the females are not socializing the males to understand the challenges of life. Let me hear what you have to say about this. Let me hear what you have to say about this. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide trusted information to you to make a decision. The time has come for us to deal with this squarely. It cannot continue to go on.